All right, so you don't need us to tell you, the real estate market certainly continues to be very hot right now. In fact, this is interesting. I don't think I realized this. Nearly 9 out of every 10 homes sold in September of 2021 were in the market for less than a month. So joining us now to talk more about kind of the trends right now, what we're seeing, maybe what we can expect. We have from San Diego, this is pretty cool, from the Real Estate 2021 Realtors Conference and Expo, Charlie Oppler. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is so interesting. Natalie and I both love talking about real estate, certainly in our area. Talk about what you guys are seeing. What is the buzz right now at this expo? Because I'd imagine there is a lot to talk about.
Well, this is our first in-person meeting in 2 years because of the pandemic. So there's a lot of excitement for people just to see each other, but also to trade stories about what the market has been really since we went back to work June, July, and everybody got comfortable with masks and gloves and the protocol for safety. But we have seen just tremendous activity. There's been just an overload of buyers, if you will, looking for the perfect property, one that would have a classroom, one that would have a gym, one that would have a home office. So the numbers in the past 18 months are just at record highs, and we may have over 6.3 million homes sold in 2021, which would be a record in the United States.
So when you look, and obviously we're always trying to figure out what's coming next. No one, ever really knows. But what are the projections for 2022? I mean, what say you? What's your thought process?
I think you're going to still see a very brisk market. I think you'll still see over 6 million homes sold. So maybe a little decrease from 21, but 21 and the back end of 20 have been just so active, if you will. Interest rates remain at historically low numbers. I think in 2022, you may see mid threes, say 3.5%. The days of 2.5 and 2.6 and 2.7 for a 30-year fixed mortgage, you may not see in 2022. But I think you'll see modest appreciation continue. Just in September alone, we saw across the country a 7% increase in units sold. So the demand stays high. Homes don't stay on the market as long because the demand is so high. And I think the sellers are trying to figure out where their next location is going to be, whether you decide to leave an area, move to a different area, just downsize in your own area. So we're going to still see tremendous activity in 2022.
What advice do you have for buyers? I think this has been probably a frustrating year, I think, for a lot of families as well. As you said, when demand is so high, it's so hard to get in and find that dream home and actually get the deal done. What say you?
Absolutely. Buyers have to be financially prepared. They have to speak to their loan officers, their banks, so that when they do find the right property, that they can execute that transaction financially very smoothly. Second of all, I think you have to be prepared as a buyer not to have any leverage with the seller in terms of closing date or maybe some minor adjustments to the property that the home inspection may reveal. Obviously, if you've got some structural damage to a property, you're not going to go through with the transaction in most cases. But with the limited inventory, the buyer really has to work with the seller's demands, if you will, to close that transaction.
Well, and all of this, I think, just goes to prove why it's so important to have a good realtor on your side. We've been showing just realtor.com. I think is that maybe the best place to find that realtor as we close here.
That's a great site, but also homeownershipmatters.com is another great site. And just to highlight what you said in terms of that demand and the process. It's a complex transaction, and for many people, it's the most financially large transaction that they'll ever complete. So the legal process, the financial, and the complexity of it, along with the inspections and the environmental issues, it's nice to have a trusted advisor on your side.
Well, nice to talk with you. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Charlie.